I think this is all of us for tonight.
Is Donna not attending?
No, she's not feeling well.
Can you guys hear me? This is Tim.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Do we want to go ahead and start the meeting? Oh, we have everyone here.
Sure.
Okay, let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As a way of respecting, honoring, and creating awareness about our past, we begin our village board meetings by acknowledging that New Paltz is on the ancestral land of the Munsee, Esopus, and Lenape people. And if you please check out our agenda as well as the minutes, we have some different links to ways to support Indigenous communities, and we really welcome folks, reaching out with other actions so we can expand our list.
So the only addition that I had for the agenda was the discussion about Keith Leibold's property on South Mannheim.
Cool. So motion to approve the agenda as Tim just amended it.
I second it. Or no,
Aye.
was that my motion or that was your motion?
I don't
All
know.
in favor? All in favor? Aye.
Sorry. I have some announcements.
Okay, go ahead.
So the first has to do with dance camera, actually. So as everyone knows, like last year in the fall, like we won against the dance camera fracked gas plant, hopes of it expanding and basically becoming, what would have been the final fracked gas plant in the state. So their air permit was denied by the governor and the Department of Conservation. It was a big victory. But, and there's a big but, so it turns out Dance Camera LLC is, they have filed like an appeal to this decision, and it's going to be decided by the same agency that had denied their permit in the first place. So, nothing to take away from that victory. Just want to be clear about that. But there is one online hearing coming up really fast. It's next Tuesday at 5:00 p.m. And the deadline to register to speak is this Friday. So just wanted to share that. I will post the links to register to speak around on social media and share that. I'm going to plan on saying a few words, and I'm sure New Paltz will show up, as much as we can, as we do, to, nip this one thing in the bud. So that's an update on that. Another announcement. So last week we held a really great Cannabis 101 workshop with Jen Metzger and Wei Hu, and about 30 different community members made it into the Zoom, and the YouTube has 70 views so far. Just wanted to share there were so many resources covered in that. So I made a bit.ly link for viewing that at any time, and I can make sure to share it so it gets into the minutes and stuff. It's bit.ly/VONP Cannabis 101, but we'll share that around so everyone can access those awesome resources. Also, with our skate garden, last night we had a really great design meeting for the skate garden project that we're planning for Hasbrook Park with the folks over at Spone Ranch, and a really good mix of local skaters from not only current times, but also from the past, which was cool. And some of our super volunteers who have been heading up the fundraising efforts, and, the mayor and I. And so the designers will be taking all of that input, from the skaters who had such good insight into, into this. It was really helpful. They're gonna be taking that and making it into, you know, another model, and then we'll have those images to share and we'll all meet up again. So keep an eye out for that. And then one final announcement from me. Just want to remind everyone that we have our free food fridge in operation over at Village Hall, 25 Plattekill Ave. You know, it's open every day from 7 to 7. And, you know, the rules, you know, and how to package things and label them are on the fridge itself. But you can also go to millionsofbutterflies.org and find those rules as well. And, you know, thanks to everyone who's been bringing meals and stuff in there. I know there tends to be more of a need for, you know, prepared meals that can either be heated up in the microwave right there, you know, kind of eaten as is. You know, so if you're looking to help out, that's one way you could help out. If you're looking to eat, go help yourself.
Good stuff. Thanks for the announcements, Alex. Any other board members want to share any announcement words?
Michelle, have you got some?
Sorry, no, I'm good.
Just a couple of things, Tim, in public. We began last week testing our sewage at our sewage treatment plant for a program that Syracuse University is conducting under the auspices of the CDC, tracking COVID rates in our community. I think one sample has been taken so far. This is an ongoing program that will take place indefinitely. What the program does is tell you what the concentration of COVID is in the community, can detect variants prior to conventional testing. It's a really cool analysis that takes place. And we're lucky to be part of that program. The other thing I wanted to mention is Governor Hochul today announced about indoor masks regulations being lifted. As a municipality, we are still having meetings via remotely, and we expect to have meetings possibly in person within a month or so.
Sounds good. Okay, so let's move on to the public comment portion of our meeting. So we have two public hearings that continue to be open. Is there anyone here who wanted to comment on the two proposed laws that we still have public hearings open, good cause or unreasonable rent increase? Is there anyone from the public interested in making a public comment on any other topic? If not, let's move on to the rest of our agenda then. I motion that we move the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then item number 1 of the business agenda. Does anyone want to take that summary item and comment on anything in particular?
I think our second item, you know, discussion about this proposed senior affordable housing complex, you know, brings up once again the intersection of, you know, climate equity and justice, you know, issues, you know, making sure that, you know, there's senior housing, senior affordable housing and affordable housing, you know, in a walkable community like ours, you know, is good for the environment.
Great. I'm gonna then jump to the item that we added to this business agenda. So we had a presentation from Keith Leibold and Keith Leibold's son, Keith Leibold, a while ago. I think Keith has also presented to our planning board as well as reached out to other folks
Tim, I think we just lost you.
Yeah, I don't hear him either.
Municipal pilot agreement.
Wait, we didn't hear you from Keith Leibold to agreement just now. Sorry.
Me?
All right, we're getting some sound now.
Hello.
We can hear you now.
Okay, great. Yeah, so the process will involve taking a closer look at the draft pilot agreement, and this is different than a pilot agreement with the county IDA. This would be a municipal pilot agreement, and so we circulated a draft. He was doing some research to make sure that it made sense. We'll hear back from the Leibolds, but as it stands now, the project would involve the possibility of up to 50 units, and these are 1-bedroom units at about 750 square feet each. This is on South Manheim, directly north of the apartment complex known as the Ridge. And so I think what the Leibolds will need, because they would be looking for some assistance via a small cities grant. So they would need to show that there's support locally via a resolution. So once we get a little more clarity in terms of the draft pilot agreement, our board will probably be discussing supporting the project via a resolution that the Leibolds could share in their grant application. So that's just kind of a general update. There's no action to be taken tonight. But you know, that's the update on that opportunity. Do you have any questions or comments about the project? Did I explain it okay based on all understanding so far?
I think that was a really good summary. I just want to add, since we, had their presentation at our meeting, I know they also have like met with other, groups of people in the village, like UX housing committee, which is pretty cool. So just, maybe you've heard about the project too.
Absolutely, and we've been I've had a few different conversations with members of the UAC housing committee. They're very supportive of the project, and so it's great that numerous folks wearing different hats in the community are keeping an eye on this proposal. So let's move on to the discussion regarding the idea of adding another Zoom account. So currently we pay for a single Zoom account. And there's a case to be made for adding another one. So we have the flexibility of having 2 meetings broadcast via Zoom simultaneously.
Yeah, I think I heard that one of our meetings, maybe Michelle can speak to it, but was cut off prematurely last week.
Yeah, we had an unfortunate, the affordable housing meeting was cut off by the cannabis meeting. Unfortunately, we just had them scheduled back to back without a buffer. So luckily our amazing folks at the Affordable Housing Board were able to get together and finish up the remainder of their time. As we know, like every minute counts when we have meetings, even if it is like 2 minutes left. And then tonight, we were more just vocal with each other, letting each other know, because there was a Shade Tree Commission meeting scheduled today at 6. Those tend to be short anyway, but Nicole, who is the clerk for those meetings, let Ari and us know when they were out of the Zoom. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what type of membership we have with Zoom. I know for myself, my personal, my other work Zoom account, I can cancel at any time. And I know with the meetings in person, this Zoom situation might be moot, but just figuring out a way that if we do have meetings remotely, or if that is allowed continuing forward, we might want to have 2 channels, or whatever the correct wording is, so there could be 2 meetings simultaneously, equivalent to having 2 conference rooms like we have at Village Hall, where we have the larger room and the smaller room, so there can be 2 meetings happening at the same time in some instances.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think, we've all learned that Zoom is useful. And I think even if we return to in-person meetings, it's great to have the redundancy of in-person with a Zoom overlay. And then it just provides us with flexibility to have 2 meetings simultaneously. I think we generally try to err on the side of being communicative, making meetings accessible, where it's in person, making sure that we're ADA compliant, making sure that people can dial in at home. So I like the idea. I think, it's there's a cost to it. I forget the exact dollar amount. It's not insignificant. It's a few $100s. But I think it's a worthwhile investment. So I motion that we go ahead and pay for a second Zoom account.
Second.
Any
Aye.
further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So that's 4 in favor. Okay. And that we move in claims.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have a planning board liaison update?
A very brief one. There were just 2 applications before the planning board that met on February 1st. One was for a site plan amendment for 107 Main Street, the Lemon Squeeze, and then for a house on Mill Rock. Mill Rock. It was a very quick meeting.
Bill, anything from ZBA liaison, or is that?
That's Donna. She's not here.
Okay. Any other things that we want to discuss as a village board tonight?
I should have done this during announcements, but the Affordable Housing Board has made great progress in placing applicants in units. So that's wonderful. They're going through the process now, and just want to encourage everyone, if anyone is out there interested in an affordable housing unit for themselves, to apply. And while you may not be placed in this round, who knows what's coming up and how things move. So it's a great list to get on, and you can look at Village of New Paltz.org for more information on that. I think the email is affordablehousing@villageofnewpaltz.org.
Tim, I'd like to add just one thing, that after our historic ice storm of a few days ago, there's still a lot of sidewalks that need to be cleared. The weather's warmed up. now's the time to attack that sidewalk and get through the ice so people can make use of the sidewalks that are in front of your house or your business. And if you're in need of salt and sand, which I would imagine many people are, given I went to several hardware stores and all were sold out of salt and sand, the town of New Paltz, our town, at the shed, if you bring your buckets and buckets only, you can take buckets home with you with salt and sand mix, and it works very well. I had great success with it.
Yeah, we've had numerous discussions with building department this week, because it's been a challenging year with the snow and the ice, and property owners making sure that their sidewalks are clean. And I have to say, it's not been great. And we're doing enforcement, but Corey and I have been discussing our law, and this will probably be something our village board will be taking a closer look at. It seems there may be an opportunity to massage some of that language in the law to make it more clear and to empower the village, so that we can do a better job with enforcement. Like a lot of things, it's a little unclear currently, and or it's just not as clear as it could be. So anticipate a review of that language very soon. Oh, and another, if we're doing the announcements, I mentioned this during town gown early this morning, but we also have had some issues where folks with vehicles are not abiding by alternate side of the street rules and different streets within the village. And so we've contacted our police department and the village's parking enforcement department. We're just encouraging all vehicle owners, like, read the street signs, make sure that you're parking legally, and you're parking on the correct side of the street. It's important for a variety of different reasons in terms of getting streets cleaned. It's also important in terms of making sure emergency vehicles have appropriate access. So read your street signs, and we relayed that to the college community. I think there was a text that went out today to encourage folks within the college community to do the same.
Yeah, just speaking of on announcements or question, I spoke to you all off of a Zoom about the stretch of road South Chestnut between South Side and Main Street. There is about 2, maybe even 3 feet of ice in the road still. It seems, I know it's state plows, so the state plows missed a large portion, which is now probably at least like 3 inches thick of ice. And full disclosure, it affects my driveway, in which I have to back out into the road, and it's like my car, it's like a speed bump of ice. And today our DPW had to come and check out the sewage there, and Nick's truck was on the ice, and he was in park, and it was literally sliding down the road. It's just really, really dangerous. So I want to warn the public of that. It seems most cars, are able to stay within the lane. There's no room for error there. So should we contact the state plows to see if they can come and do something, which in turn is going to dump all of that back onto my sidewalk, which I just finally dug out of, which was so much ice. But I'm just concerned about the safety of the road in that section.
What did Blue or Nick or anyone from DPW say when you guys were looking at it today?
Well, they were looking at the sewage, so they weren't there for that. I mean, should I speak to Blue to see if they would? I mean, do we? I know.
Yeah, we can talk to the DOT engineers. I just wasn't. I was curious whether Blue had an opinion about asking state DOT folks to revisit the road. feels like it still needs to be plowed. I mean, normally state DOT is super particular about making sure their roads are clear. So yeah, we can contact them. You know, the engineers who are responsible for the roads within New Paltz are actually really great to deal with and pretty responsive. So I'll touch base with Blue, or if you want to send a note to Blue and the board, a reminder, we'll make sure that's done tomorrow.
Great.
I mean, fingers crossed too, that the weather should be warming up the next few days, so maybe that'll help.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely helped. In that stretch of road, it's already problematic during ice storms or big snowstorms because there's a natural spring that comes out of, and it creates more ice than normal. So it's certainly a problematic stretch of road when we have weather like that. But yeah, I'll send the email to Blue and BB and to remind us all to see about following up with state. Thanks.
Okay, anything else before we adjourn? No? Okay. Good night, everybody. Thanks.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.